having a great start to your week. It is Hump Day. Happy Wednesday to you, Jared Sandler, with you, getting ready to talk Rangers baseball. But just want to remind you, would really appreciate if you would consider subscribing to the channel and also share the link. I'd love for you to share this content if you enjoyed and you have friends, family members, enemies, whomever who you think might enjoy it. I guess maybe if you don't like it, you'd send it to your enemies so they can sit through it. Whatever the case, the more eyeballs, the more ears on this, I'd really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to talk about Joey Gallo in a second. Going to look back at his 2019, what he did to allow him to take a step forward, and why I think there's a lot of room for growth. But first, let's go back to the injuries from Monday night. We learned last night, Tuesday night, that Robinson Chirinos, even though yesterday was a good day for him, is unlikely to be ready for opening day. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it's unlikely. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if there was any doubt as to whether Jeff Mathis would make the team or not, that doubt's probably eliminated. I don't think there really was a scenario in which he wasn't going to make it, but, it's always possible. And I think that means Jose Trevino's definitely locked in. And what I think it means in terms of playing time, whereas with Robbie healthy, Jeff Mathis would only get a little bit of playing time. I don't think Jeff Mathis slides into the Robinson Chirinos role where he's going to get a bulk of the playing time. I think that you're going to see Jose Trevino and Jeff Mathis maybe have a split, and perhaps Jose Trevino ends up getting a little bit more playing time. Because, I think that the Rangers are really going to value the ability to have offense. And, not that Jose Trevino figures to be a masher just yet, but I think that the offensive upside is certainly higher for him than it is for Jeff Mathis. All right, now Willie Calhoun. He left Monday night scrimmage with a tight right hip flexor. Got MRIs, results not in yet. The Rangers anticipating a strained right hip flexor. And that means that we got to at least consider that Willie is not going to be available for opening day. So, again, what does that mean for the lineup? Well, that definitely helps the Rangers answer some questions, not the way they wanted to answer these questions, but how do you get Nick Solak in the lineup? Well, Nick Solak now is likely going to be the left fielder on opening day. All right, well, how do you get Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the lineup? Well, one thing you can do now is move Todd Frazier from third to first, and put Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third base. Now, there are other ways you can go about this. You can, you can consider Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at first base. People have asked, why don't you do that? Why are you moving Frazier? Well, listen, Todd Frazier's a nice player, but he's in the lineup for his bat. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is a better defensive third baseman. So that way you actually end up upgrading in both spots, both the first base and third base spot with that, with that other scenario. So if Isaiah Kiner-Falefa played first and Frazier played third, neither would be as good as the other one at that position. So Frazier's a better first baseman than Izzy a better third baseman than Frazier. Now, Greg Bird's been hitting the ball well lately, and I think that, there are a lot of people who want to see Ronald Guzman win the job, so I guess it's not by any means definitive that neither Bird nor Guzman will grab the reins of that first base spot. But if you're looking for a way to get Solak and Izzy in the lineup, that is one way to do it. Now, hopefully Willie Calhoun is available opening day. And if he's not, hopefully he's available shortly thereafter. And at that point, the Rangers will kind of see who's hitting well, if everyone's healthy, who's not hitting well, and they'll be able to adjust accordingly. Joey Gallo. Let's talk about the big masher in the Rangers lineup. So good news, Joey, who played in his first inter-squad game Monday, got his first hit last night. For those of you who are tracking that, I don't think it's incredibly significant, but I guess better than him not getting a hit. Last year, Joey took some really big steps forward. We know he was an all-star, had a home run in the all-star game. He had a performance that really excited all of us in a big way. Now it's about doing it over a full season, and we're not going to be able to witness that until next year because 60 games is certainly not a full season. What did he do last year that allowed him to have a heightened level of success? Well, In 2018, Joey Gallo swung at pitches outside of the strike zone around 32% of the time. What does that mean, Jared? Well, of people in baseball that year with a minimum of 250 at-bats, plate appearances, that ranked 173rd out of 313. So not all the way towards the back of the bus, but in the bottom half of the league. All right? Last year, this is where the improvement exists. Last year, Joey only chased 24% of pitches he saw outside the zone. That's an 8% increase, 8% improvement, I should say. Well, how does that stack up? Last year, among the 320 players who had 250 or more plate appearances, Joey Gallo ranked 31st. He ranked in the top 10% of the league. So we went from bottom half to now top 10%. Big jump there for Joey Gallo. It's, it's simple as to why this makes a difference. The less you chase, the more you're likely getting on base if you're Joey Gallo with how people pitch around him in the way of the walk, and he did that. And then B, it allows you to have greater success when you're swinging at pitches in the zone where you can do damage. Speaking of that, where can Joey still improve? How can Joey still improve? Well, Joey Gallo last year, despite all these improvements, was second worst in Major League Baseball among that same group of 320 hitters who had at least 250 plate appearances in this category. Contact on pitches in the zone. He ranked 319th out of 320. He only made contact on 73% of his swings on pitches in the zone. Is that a problem? Well, he was an all-star, so it's not this horrible situation that's preventing him from being productive. However, what it shows me is an area in which he can improve in that particular statistic, and that will allow him to grow in general as a player. I don't know that Joey Gallo will ever be in the top 10% of contact rate in the zone, but I don't suspect he'll always be second to last in Major League Baseball, even if he were to be a little bit below that middle bar, but closer towards the middle. Think of the added production he'll provide. Joey last year had the ninth highest whiff rate on high strikes. So obviously, people trying to attack him in the top third of the zone. And one thing Joey did a good job of last year is laying off that pitch, even if it might be called a strike, in counts that are less than 2 strike counts, because it wasn't a pitch he was able to really get to that well. One thing the Rangers are working on with Joey is his swing path. And they're encouraging him to be him. So many people have tried to tinker with his swing path and create the ideal swing path. Well, it's tough to know the ideal swing path and what's feasible for someone Joey's size. Joey's not an average-sized baseball player. His height, his wingspan, the length of his arms, and they're just trying to get Joey to be comfortable, and they think in so doing that the swing path is going to be able to cover more of the zone, his original swing path, because he's going to be more comfortable. One of the things that Joey, struggled with last year as well, sometimes sliders, below the zone, but Joey did a heck of a job on changeups low and sliders low in the zone. It's just about getting contact on pitches in the zone. Again, 73% was the number last year. We'll see if he takes steps forward this year, but just think about it. Joey, despite not making contact on swings in the zone at a rate that is typical for a major leaguer, was an all-star. Because when he does make that contact, he does a heck of a lot of damage. Now, if you increase that contact rate, you're increasing those damage opportunities, and that's why I think Joey Gallo still has plenty of room to take steps forward. So that's a look at his 2018 to his 2019 where he improved, if he can maintain or improve upon his chase rate, which got 8% better from 18 to 19, then I think that he's putting himself in a great position to succeed for the long run, and then that success can only continue to grow as he continues to do a better job of making contact on pitches in the zone. Now, one little nugget on that, the person who ranked 318th out of 320 on pitches, contact rate on pitches in the zone, Aaron Judge. So it's not as if Joey is surrounded by a sea of bad players there. There are some really good players who they just maximize their damage opportunities, but they don't have as many as the average player. And Aaron Judge, MVP candidate, Aaron Judge. So he's not in horrible company, but that is an area in which both of those guys could improve and thus step their game up. There you go. That's a little Joey Gallo analysis. Happy that he's back in action and excited for his 60-game run. By the way, people have asked, well, 60 games, how many home runs will people hit? I'll tell you this, the Rangers' record for most home runs through the first 60 games of the season, Josh Hamilton hit 22 back in 2012. The next highest total, Alex Rodriguez hit 20 back in 2002. We'll see if Joey can attack either of those records. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Again, would really appreciate if you'd consider subscribing, sharing with your friends, liking, commenting, all that stuff. I love interacting with you and looking forward to talking to you on Friday. We've got a conversation with Cowboys insider Bobby Belt tomorrow. Plus, we got our Broadcasters Roundtable for those interested in that coming out later on today. Thanks again. Have a great day.